Alright, welcome back everybody. Looks like the execution is indeed over, and we have a few things to discuss with Selt and our friend here, I guess. The other Lycaons have been taken care of. The incident is resolved, and life Elpis continues as normal, or ends as the case may be. Rationally speaking, I understand Hermes' argument. No matter how well deserved the rest, there's a pang of sadness when a colleague leaves us. Yet never has a departure caused me such grief as Hermes appears to feel. What must it be like to experience such torment? We got our hand gear here. Alright. Where to now? If there's anything you would like to visit before we leave, I should be glad to show you the way. Hermes has not outright refused his position for the convocation, merely proposed to postpone the decision. As such, I may as well resume my assessment. If I cannot accompany him, then I will content myself with questioning his colleagues. Ever the pragmatist, and allow me to remain your humble guide. What of you, Nar? Will you continue along with us? Wonderful. Our fellowship travels unbroken. I say we explore another part of Elpis, and see what new encounters there is to be had. If you would follow me, we'll head back towards Agnoris. Let me just make sure of potential of any ether current still being around before I leave. It says there's one to the north. It may be possible it's still on here, so don't have any blue quests, so we shall just go over here and see if we can find something or not. It may be possible it's far enough away to where it's... Yeah, I think it might actually be over to the area we haven't been to yet. I guess we'll have to go over there, hopefully, next. It's the only spot left that we haven't, seemingly done yet, I guess, because there's an ether right over there, at least. Yeah, it seems like that's still the one that's closest. So we've definitely cleared out everything, like, southwards, I guess. The rest of them are gonna be northwards. We're 5 off, 5 gotten, so... We still have 2 more of the quest ones as well. From here, we follow the path northwards to Nantonius. There we'll find one of the news, which facilitate travel between the islands of Elpis. First-time travelers must be accompanied by someone with the requisite permission, which I have previously been granted. We only need to use the device together once, and henceforth you will have leave to use it freely. Shall we? Alrighty. I guess there was, in fact, a bridge over here. It's actually very close. Is it perhaps even on this platform, I'm wondering? It might be a little too... Yeah, I think it may be a little bit too small for that to be the case. It should be like right up here, though. Yeah, it's just a little bit off. It's very close, though. Here we are, Nuntunus. This noose will take us to Calamithus Zeprios, the western island. That's it right there, looming large over us. Step this way and we can soon admire the view from above. That puts us right on the edge, that's perfect.
I present to you Calamelios Zephyros. Here you will find a number of testing facilities, as well as the observation hub of Poiton Oikos. Right then. Let's begin by... Well, well. An Arrhaeus. How delightful.
And what, pray tell, is that?
Ah, that's a new species of shark. We approved the concept but a few days ago. Sharks are among the most popular sea creatures. Rare is the day when someone does not submit a new concept. At first, they were largely orthodox, consideration given to such things as size and environmental impact. And then a whimsical someone thought to bestow it with flight, another superior intelligence. And then the floodgates burst. Concepts with multiple heads, or arms and legs, and so on and so forth. It was getting absurd. A part of me wanted to tell them to go away and find something else to create, but in the end, I couldn't deny their passion. Here we are.
That was too close. Are you unharmed? Well now, if it isn't a pair of familiar faces.
Banar, that we should meet you here.
As I mentioned earlier, the better part of the convocation holds that when we retire is when we return to the star. Well, she is not among said majority. Even after stepping down, she carries on with her work. Vanar is her name, and she is the previous Azem.
It has been a while, Hythlodaeus. You look well. Less so, Emmet Selk. I dare say the lines upon your brow have both deepened and doubled in number. A shame for one so young. You must make an effort to frown less often.
Easier said than done, thanks to your unruly successor.
How is she, if I may ask?
Incorrigible as ever. Rushed headlong into a volcano on the brink of eruption just the other day. I should be glad to share the tale in its entirety later, if you're so inclined.
Oh, you know I am. Now then, you are? I say, have you perchance come from the future? I do not believe we have ever met, yet I sense my magic upon you. Therefore, if I wove the enchantment, I could only have done so at a later point in time.
What manner of magic is this, if I may ask?
A traveler's ward, of course. It prevents the corruption of one's ether.
It sounds rather like the Blessing of Light.
I see you are not ignorant to its presence. And while there are many protective spells, the one you bear is unmistakably mine.
Hold on. From the future? That's absurd.
What is it? Are you unable to speak of the matter?
The reality to which you must return exists as a result of the final days. You cannot reshape the past to undo the tragedies of the present.
So, your actions here will not change your history, but they may yet affect the course of ours. How very exciting! I'm quite fond of delving into the unknown, and there's naught more unknown than the future. Until a moment finally arrives, we cannot know for certain what will come to pass, regardless of our supposed foreknowledge, so you needn't worry for us. More importantly, that you should go to such great lengths as to travel unto the past bespeaks the gravity of your quest. Will you not reveal it to us? Mayhap we can be of aid to your cause.
If this is true, then you've been keeping quite the secret to yourself. As a representative of the Convocation, I will hear it all. Your identity, purpose, everything.
Why don't we move to a place more conducive to calm conversation? I've been working here for some days now at an old friend's behest. If it is agreeable, we may make use of my accommodation at Poiton Oikos. We were meant to meet. I am certain of it. Else I wouldn't have marked you so clearly, and sent you unto myself in the past. It's precisely the sort of mischief I would get up to. And quite inspired, if I do say so myself.
So we're meeting Heidelin in her moral form, essentially. Because Ana became the heart of Heidelin, I believe. I believe that was the case. My apologies, but before we move along, a colleague has asked me if a matter which I'd rather not leave unresolved. Well as finding a certain concept engraved crystal and the quick-fingered Aureus which made off with it. An Aureus, you say? I think we may have seen the culprit before being distracted by the business of the shark. Would you like us to follow its ethereal trail? That, of course, is only to the Aetheros. There is no guarantee that hasn't dropped or stashed away the crystal you seek. Please, even that much would be enormously helpful. While you're hunting down the thief, I can fall behind and scare the forest floor just in case. Could I ask you to join the search? I would appreciate another pair of eyes to cover the land to the west of here. Many thanks. There's a small bridge leading to Poiton Oikos. Let us meet up there once we've exhausted our efforts. And it's showing me two different spots, so... Oh, that's right, I didn't want to go too far and miss out the either current. It should be very close by. Oh, look at level 87 things now, okay. With a guess, it's probably going to end up being upwards. They love putting them on cliff sides, after all. Nothing yet? Okay, it's definitely this way, so it must be somewhere close by here. Aha, there it is, okay. is, I believe, number 6. Another one northwest. Not too far, so we may as well go for it, I think. Definitely heading in the right direction. Maybe on top of the waterfall, perhaps? I was right. It's not surprised me to be up there. This is number 7. Next one is northeast, but we're a little bit further away, so I guess we'll go ahead and save that for now. This is definitely getting interesting. Full on like giant deer over here. Very big deer. Not seeing anything really over here. I'm wondering if it's on top, but I have to find a way up there first. So far I'm not seeing much. Looks like there's an opening over here, I think. Yeah, there is, okay. I'm not seeing anything, huh. I'm surprised. That is curious, huh. Usually they love putting stuff like out of the way where you find a way up to it, but it seems not this time. Huh. Oh, there it is, okay. And we got it. Very nice. What is this thing over here, I'm wondering? Oh, I guess it's just for the teleporter, okay. Did I get anything new with the quest? No, okay. I think the only thing I'm missing now is the helmet. I'll at least be hitting 60k health by the time this expansion's over. I'll probably be closer to like 65. Our last searcher returns. I'm afraid the Aureus no longer had the crystal, nor was able to find it as I followed in its wake. I don't suppose you fared any better. You in fact did. The crystal, well done. Wonderful, now I can focus on your tale without the missing concept nagging at my mind. Have you always had a knack for finding things? Traveling and searching go hand in hand. You travel often then, it seems we have something in common. Long ago, when I held the seat of Azem, I was forever trekking back and forth across the star in search of answers to people's problems. Actually, a need for such journeys has lessened considerably since I entrusted the position to my whimsical successor. Yet I am still eager to come running should an old acquaintance or new interest require my personal attention. That's what brings me to Elpis, in fact. Many times has my presence been requested, my opinion sought concerning the habitat of this or that creation. Agreeing to help locate the missing crystal was a minor distraction, which now promises to become a major revelation. How strange and wonderful it is, the one thing that leads to another. Wouldn't you agree? We're certainly inching closer along to 88. Thank you again for your timely help. Now then, 'tis time I return this stolen property. If you go on ahead to my condemnation, I'll join you as soon as I have attended to the task. Follow the path straight ahead to the building at the top of the slope. I have the entire place to myself, so we can speak without fear of being disturbed or overheard. We made it to a new location with a new aetherite. Very nice, very nice. I think there's an ether current right around here, isn't there? Yeah, not too far at all. There we go. I should probably get this one, which I think is our 8th. We do not have many more to go at all. Straight east now, okay. Big old Minotaur. So I'm right back in ESO. It's either going to be above, or is it going to be below? I think I hear it. I think I want to say it's probably above. Ah, it's up there, okay. Just gotta find the entrance. Where's the next one? It is actually that way, okay. Huh. How many do I have left? I'm pretty sure it's 2. Yeah. I might just go ahead and try and find the last 2 now. So I can just put that away. So that way I only have to worry about the 2 quest ones at that point. Depends on how far the last one is, I guess. This one's not too far, at least. Oh, I actually gone the wrong way. I was going southwest. Whoops. It's gotta be very close. I don't think it's off. I wouldn't assume it's off the side, but... Yep, here we go. I think this was actually the one we saw earlier that we couldn't reach at the time. And the last one is where... It is very far north. You know, we'll go for it. Why not? Unless its path is blocked to us. I would assume not. I don't know, it might be. I see a good bit of area north from here that we probably would have to teleport to again, but we'll see. Yeah, it might be. I don't know. Yeah, I think it might be out of our way at the moment. I think it's up there. So we'll continue on then. Honestly, I would figure I could go right up that. See what I mean? It's almost letting me right up here from here. Welcome to my temporary abode. Please, make yourself at home while I put on some tea.
A wonderful aroma. I feel more relaxed already.
Would that I had sweetmeats to offer, but I travel light out of habit. There's plenty of hot water though, so please have as much tea as you like. Now then, will you tell us your tale?
Mankind is being forced to flee the star. That's probably the best choice because it doesn't actually tell them what happens in their own time.
Why don't you start from the beginning? Preposterous. Utterly preposterous.
While not the words I would have chosen, I too have my doubts. Much of it borders on the incredulous. What of you, Vanar?
Not knowing the precise details of the first final days, it is difficult to determine the veracity of the tale. Supposing it is all true, I must ask myself why I would do what I did. Why would I feel I had no recourse but to oppose the 14 and create this Heidelin? Circumstances change, of course, but it would not have been an easy decision regardless. No, there must have been a reason. One compelling enough to force me to take such drastic measures. Then there is the Elpis flower, which I said would serve as a guide. That it's of import to your mission is plain, but your presence here leads me to believe that this place also holds significance. But what could it be? What are we meant to accomplish?
Might it not be simply thus? In the future, whence she came, the final days could not be averted. Mankind has no choice but to flee the star. By alerting us to that eventuality, perhaps you wish to pave the way for other futures.
Theoretically speaking, it is a possibility. Yet if that were my primary objective, I see no reason to guide our friend to Elpis specifically. The capital and Amarot, or even my own home would be more logical destinations.
True, true. I note also that Heidelin did not specify a point in time to which she must return. By this, it may be inferred that it was not critical that we should meet.
Alternately, she had reason to believe that our paths would converge, coincidental though it may seem.
This is quite a puzzle, and we do not have all the pieces.
Hardly any. But we do have one immutable fact. If the final days are indeed as described, they will bring death to all that I hold dear. Yet despite being afforded long years of preparation, the only provisions I could make were for flight. Nay, my first and foremost endeavor would be to find a way to forestall the coming doom.
Given that even the 14 failed, mayhap you deemed it impossible.
Nothing is impossible. This I have always believed. And if Heidelin is indeed me, she would believe the same.
Listen to yourself. Are you seriously entertaining the notion that you are a messianic figure in some far-fetched tale? Well, I will not. I refuse to accept that our world could be undone by some unforeseen calamity. I also take offense to my portrayal as a megalomaniacal madman. To sacrifice oneself for the star is a noble act, and I would hold those who gave themselves to this zodiac in the highest esteem. Yet, you claim I recreated Amarot and populated it with phantoms of our people? A bizarre indulgence that would be insulting to their memory. Worse still, I even invited you there. Literally invited my own downfall. Why would I do something so idiotic and inexplicable? Now, I will allow that the hypothetical task of restoring our world would be daunting in the extreme. The thought of having to bear such a burden for 1,000 lives horrifies me. But I would never forsake my duty. I would never forsake my brethren. You do not know me. I've had my fill of your fiction. I will return to my duty, and you will not bother me again.
Emmett Selk! Wait!
You've seen much of Elpis already. If you have any observations to share, I should like to hear them.
Dynamis is key to all of this.
Ah yes, the energy distinct from ether. Though not my field, I have a basic understanding of Dynamis. And you say Hermes researched the phenomenon in the course of creating Meteon? Yes, I believe this warrants further investigation. With that settled, it is time for action. The missing pieces of the puzzle are here, I'm certain of it. And when you find them, the picture my future self has painted will be complete, and you will have your answer. Now suffice it to say, I will aid you in your quest. Have faith. If If Emmet Selk is the man Azum described to me, we've not seen the last of him.
Alright, well this is a very interesting thing. I didn't actually think we'd reveal everything to them. Shall we begin our investigations then? I'm acquainted with Hermes, of course, but only as a visitor received by the Chief Overseer of Elpis. Of the man himself, I know only that of which is common knowledge. This suggests we fall back on the tried and true method of conversing with the locals. The observers who live here can surely tell us more of Hermes and Metion. I have a good idea of where we might begin. And all these quests pop up immediately. The only thing I could potentially need from these is a helmet. I would assume that would come from the main story quest at this point, but... yeah, it doesn't seem to be anything of worth here. A couple further off that way I can take a look at, I guess. One or two of the blue quests are no doubt going to show up here eventually. Let's go ahead and talk to the mender real quick. Oh, I don't even need to mend anything. Okay. I think as long as I reach level 88 before the dungeon, I'll be happy. Because the dungeon's going to give me like half an experience bar anyways. Because I have no doubt one's coming up. Or maybe it's even time for a trial at this point. I don't know. Might very well be time for a trial. See the woman standing in front of yonder building. Her name is Esamine. She is the one who made arrangements for my stay in Elpis, and from what I recall, she has held a position here for quite some time. Chances are she can provide us some insights. Go and ask your questions. I'll help with drawing out answers if need be. But I leave the choice of topic up to you. Questions for me? Well, I suppose I have no other pressing duties at the moment. Let's go ahead and ask some questions, I guess. Greetings, Sesame. My friend here is desperately curious about Chief Hermes. I was wondering if you might indulge her. Certainly, Mistress Vina. Anything to be of service. What do you wish to know? What kind of person is Hermes? I can only answer from my own experience, but... I would describe him as a quiet man, reserved, you might say, and occasionally somewhat poor with his choice of words. His reticent nature, however, does not prevent him from carrying out his duties as Chief Overseer. The man is a walking archive when it comes to life forms. He can discuss any species in incredible detail, and is the leading authority on concepts with the power of flight. I hope that answers your questions. Was there anything else? Do you know of Metion's abilities? So secret that she is highly unusual familiar. Of late, the Chief often makes his rounds with her, like a mother hen raising her chick. I understand that she is able to read emotions and communicate directly with one's mind. Exactly how she was created with that talent, however, is a mystery to me. My apologies, I wish I could explain her nature in more depth, but I have not had occasion to discuss it with Chief Hermes. You wish you knew him better. The Chief may not be the most gregarious individual, but he engages with us as necessary for everyone to perform their duties. I wouldn't want to intrude upon his privacy for the sake of curiosity. If you wish to learn more about Metion, you could try speaking of Timios, another expert in the creation of flying concepts. He should be conducting his observations on the banks of the stream, somewhat to the east. But unless you take a particular joy in rambling discourse, I suggest you keep your questions concise. We shall keep that in mind. Thank you for the patience and your insight. Think nothing of it. If there is aught else you need during your stay, please do not hesitate to ask. Come, Narn. I think we've taken up of Esamine's time. Our investigation is off to a fine start when you agree. From here, I propose that we split up. I shall continue making inquiries with the resident observers. If you could track down the colleague Esamine mentioned. Given how you steered the previous conversation, it's plain you need no assistance from me. All I ask is that you watch your footing around the stream. We can meet back here once you've finished speaking of Timaeus. It looks like we're heading off this way. Yeah, there they are. Yes, I'm Timaeus, but keep your voice down, you'll startle the birds. Ask him some questions. So, what is it you wish to speak about? What do you think of Chief Hermes' flying creations? Chief Hermes' work, worthy subject indeed. Those beings which soar through the clouds, majestic and graceful, are ever a favorite of creators. Even now, with so many varieties in existence, the flood of newly imagined concepts continues unabated. What sets the Chief's creations apart, however, is how they benefit from his boundless knowledge of the celestial realm. Birds that climb so high they disappear from view. Others would traverse the boundless sky in moments, and all without riding the currents. I know of none save he who can conceive of such marvels. Even we who prize elegance of form above all else are dumbfounded by his genius. Mettaton too is a marvel, then. My opinion on that matter would be superficial at best. Despite my admiration for Midian as a concept, I have never delved too deeply into the inner workings of her nature. I know that she has a gift of communicating via emotions, but otherwise her abilities are a mystery to me. If Chief Hermes should choose to submit Midian's concept to the Bureau of Architect, then will design be registered for public scrutiny. Analyzing a colleague's creation before that step is frowned upon, to say the least. Of course, if he came to me, a fellow artisan looking for advice, that'd be an entirely different story. Do you know of Dynamis in Entelechy? Dynamis in Entelechy. Those terms do sound vaguely familiar. Was there not a flower made here in Elpis which exhibit properties of one or the other? Must have been centuries since I last heard of anyone speak of such things. Has there been a resurgence in interest? Then why bring up the subject? I'm flattered that you sought my insight, but I cannot afford to neglect my duties for the sake of idle chatter. Now, I must really return to my observations. Surely you have your own tasks to attend to. I don't know if that went too well or not. Back already, that was quick work. You were obviously clever enough to head off of any of that rambling Ezamine I mentioned. So have you any new findings to share? I see, even an expert in the field has little understanding of Midian's capabilities, let alone awareness of Dynamis. My questions result in much the same answers. Hermes' colleagues view Midian as his personal sub-project, and provide no details beyond those which you've told me. Which leads me to believe that the only person of any significant knowledge of Dynamis is Hermes himself. Yes, we've made some progress here, but more information is needed if we are to reach any definite conclusions. And we got the headgear. At present, there's the strongest link we have to the final days is the power of Dynamis, and the technicalities which can control it. Yet most scholars are only vaguely aware of those terms, let alone study them in any depth, except for Hermes, it seems. Thus I'm inclined to stay our current course and learn what we can about the Chief Overseer and his familiar. And on that subject, was there aught else of note you could tell me about Midian, aside from an unorthodox method of communication? She and her sisters were created to journey to the stars and search for intelligent life. I rather wish you had mentioned that earlier. In any event, would you care to elaborate? So these siblings of hers now travel the great expanse in search of deeper meaning. Thank you. Though the mystery at hand remains unsolved, I feel that you've touched upon a vital clue, one that we should keep in mind as we continue. Next I propose we take ourselves to Pepeteria Crystalline, not far from here. Just follow the path to the west. What path? It looks like we have a way forward here at least. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's still nowhere we can find it, so. I didn't check, but I don't think any blue quests have opened up, no. I'm sure one's eventually going to pop up. If not both. This tower and the one further along are both part of Pepperdine Crystalline, the facility where the archive of all Elpis's observational testing records. Despite how they appear from the outside, the interior is actually a vast area of magically interconnected spaces, which is, while fascinating, is not the reason we're here, is it? I shall cut my architectural lessons short and see what those two archivists have to share. If you can find someone to speak with over at the other tower, I shall join you there, Anon. Alrighty, let's take a look then. You have questions for me, certainly. Just a moment while I conclude my current appointment. Indeed, so if you could provide a convention log of all these behaviors, we should have sufficient data for our official records. What is it you wish to speak with me about? The Chief's Overseer's personal research project, and by that I assume you Metian. Such undocumented studies are difficult to track. After all, hardly a day goes past without seeing a researcher trailed by one creation or another. I'm afraid I cannot tell you exactly when Metian appeared, only that she now spends most of her time at Chief Hermes' side. Although I do recall an interesting tale my dearest Garlene shared with me. Garlene is my partner and a fellow researcher here in Elpis. She was returning late one night when she caught sight of Chief Hermes sending Metian heavensward, a host of them. For several days she would speak of that scene of wonder, describing it as one of the most beautiful spectacles she had ever witnessed. Sounds like a story I'd like to hear. Miss Vanna, I thought you had already returned to the surface. Permit me to thank you again for your invaluable contribution to our concept placement proposal. Pray do not mention, as you say, my original plan was to leave after that task, but I have since been engrossed with Chief Hermes' research. Would you favor me with your telling of the sight which so delighted your Garlene? Of course, or you could hear it from her lips directly if you prefer. At present she should be observing a subject in Meta Besios Thalasse. She does enjoy her time there, watching the sea creatures hunt and play, gazing upon the salty waters of the world's oceans recreated in such sublime detail. I imagine you must find similar joy in indulging your boundless curiosity, Mistress Vanna. Even though such pursuits must continually and regrettably delay your return to the star. Indeed they do. 'Tis a rest well deserved and long overdue, I should think. How greatly have we prospered for the wisdom you accumulated during your travels as Azem. And what would Elpis be without your earlier academic work? The theories you developed serve as a basis of many techniques still in use today. Man is a creature of contemplation, but none embody that nature as much as enduring passion as you. I dare say there's not a soul alive more worthy of a return. I shall rejoice the day you depart on your final journey. I will be honored. Well, shall we take this opportunity to meet with Garlene in person? Allow me to reconfigure the door to the archives here. It will take you up to the Skyway and spray the need to avoid hostile concepts on the ground. That'd be most helpful, thank you. Still nothing worth around, so I've opened the path to the Skyway. Once you pass through the door, simply walk straight across to the next tower and ask for admittance to the upper tier. Upon arriving at the upper tier, walk straight across the skyway and you'll find yourself at the entrance to Matbesios Thalasai. Galeen will be eager to share her tale with you, I'm sure. Alrighty. Does this lead me to, like, another, island, or are we gonna just go through this area here? I'm not sure. Mistress Finette, just passing through. They allow me to prepare the path. If you need further assistance, there's always an observer or two on the upper skyway. I don't know, is it possible it's up here? I'm not sure. It's very far away, so... Yeah, I don't think it's up here. Okay. Mistress Finette, I was told not to expect... We would have prepared an official welcome. Please, there's no need for fanfare. I only wish to speak with Galeen, if that may be arranged. Yes, Galeen, of course. I'll inform her immediately. Ah, but she may be engaged in a testing phase. You could be in for something of a wait. Should I let her know your business is urgent? That won't be necessary. This little view will keep us occupied until she's ready to receive us.
A delightful breeze and a breathtaking view. What is it like in the future? Is the world still a beautiful place?
Some parts, yes, others not so much.
Dark, hidden places, rife with danger. Those have an altogether different, but no less powerful sort of appeal. While we wait, will you not tell me about your adventures? Well, not the portentous events which led you here, but the simple delights all your own. By learning about the future world, I may gain insight into future me's plans. But more than that, I have an interest simply as a fellow traveler. Short of going somewhere oneself, there's naught more stirring than hearing another's account. Incredible. Would that I could have been there to see it. Yours is a harsh and unforgiving world. Yet in spite of this, your brethren hold fast to their virtue. To know that the light of mankind's potential still shines, even in that faraway place, it gives me heart. Thank you for regaling me with your tales. I will treasure every word. As you know, I was once a scholar. And among other things, I sought to understand the workings of the world. What exactly is ether? How formed the laws of nature? Whence sprung mankind? Riddles and mysteries beyond counting. Over the years, I have managed to find answers to some few of them. Yet rather than attain a sense of mastery, the more I understood, the more I came to hold the world and its miracles in awe. We too are miracles, each and every one of us, born of the warm breath of life that traverses the heavens, swirling through eternity. When I fully grasped the improbability of our existence, nothing felt impossible anymore. If it could be imagined, it could be done. A passion swelled within me, an epiphany dispelling all preconceptions of what was natural and true, and a presence without, immense yet intimate, fate perhaps, holding us in its tender embrace. As reassuring as it was intimidating, how keenly aware I became of creation's fragility, built as it is upon precarious happenstance. I was overcome with an irrepressible urge to know the world more intimately, to hear its voice, feel its breath. I ventured forth on a journey that very day, so very long ago now. Freed from presumption and prejudice, I saw the world through a newborn's eyes. Everything fresh and new, and so beautiful. Lands that stretched on forever. Skies one could drown in. The heartbeat of nature, silent yet strong. And amidst it all a people. Beacons of light and life. Laughter that warmed my heart like naught else before. They are my meaning, and my purpose, my love. And so long as they need help, I cannot return to the star. Perhaps my future self is still waiting for it. The moment she can let go and walk unto the end. Safe in the knowledge that man will find his own way. You, who are our future, tell me this, and tell me true. Has your journey been good? Has it been worthwhile?
Pray forgive my lateness. My observation subject was rather irritable, and it took a while to settle it down.
No need to apologize. Your work takes precedence. Besides, we had a pleasant conversation in the meantime.
You're too kind. Now then, I'm told you wished to ask me some questions.
Indeed. I've an interest in one of Hermes' creations. Meteon. You witnessed a host of them take flight, yes?
Oh, that! Yes, I did. 'Twas in the dark of the morn. I'd left the Thalassai after nocturnal observation. As I walked along, I spied a bright light climbing high into the southeastern skies. Then, in an instant, it was gone. Like a shooting star, only rising rather than falling. But then another shot up. Then another, and another. Intrigued, I made my way to the edge to investigate. And who should I spy on an isle to the south but Hermes and Meteon, the Matea, rather. There were lots of them, and I realized they must be the shooting stars that I'd seen.
A dazzling spectacle indeed. Have you spoken with Hermes about this?
Oh, yes. The sight left such an impression on me that I approached him about his mystery project the very next day. Alas, he said that he couldn't reveal anything just yet, that he needed to conduct further tests. It shouldn't be long now, though. He often returns to that isle, and I have a feeling he's nearing a breakthrough.
Splendid. We are likewise eager for the details. Well, that is all we wish to ask. Thank you for taking the time to indulge our curiosity.
You're very welcome. It's always a pleasure to speak with other inquisitive souls. Oh, and will you be descending now? If so, I shall link the doors for you.
Please.
Alrighty. So another piece of the puzzle falls into place. For what we've learned thus far, I think we can safely conclude that Hermes hasn't been revealing the details of his research to others. Which suggests that either somebody will appropriate his discoveries and make use of them, or that Hermes himself will have a hand in causing the final days. As we have no reason yet to suspect the former, we should consider the latter the more likely possibility. Proceeding under the assumption, our next step should be to divine why, or even if, he might desire such a terrible fate for our star. Go ahead and throw on our headgear, I guess. This is probably a good stopping point, so I think we'll go ahead and stop here. That is a very curious... Okay. With a full one like that, I'm just going to keep the headgear off. But in any case, I'm going to end up stopping the video here, and then we'll probably continue with another one tonight and see where we go from there. So, see you then.